listening, pay attention. Oh, yeah.
You're looking for capitals?
Islington Green School has had a troubled past, failing its Ofsted in the late 90s and being put into special measures. The last 3 years have seen a marked improvement. Exam results up, exclusions down, expectations rising.
I think that might be something. Let's just think about very briefly the not being bothered. What would make you bothered? Can you just think?
Trevor Aver-Beeson has been head since 2002 and is proud of the school's recent achievements.
And it's true across the country. Attendance low, achievement goes down.
But there's still a major challenge: punctuality, especially getting students back to class after breaks.
And what I'm interested in is these people are going to do fantastically well for their potential because they're in class when the lesson starts. These people aren't far behind, but these people are missing 10 minutes of every lesson if that's what they do every day.
And Trevor has asked John Bayley to help.
Doing out in the playground to what your exam results are doing.
Before he advises the senior management team, John wants to experience a normal morning break, Islington Green style.
Bye, thank you very much.
Good morning.
At 11:15, the staff ring bells to let students know it's time to go in. Lessons begin again at 20 past.
Sorry, I've asked you several times. What's your name?
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
The bells have been ringing for 12 minutes and the playground still isn't completely clear. Something needs to change.
We haven't really cracked that business of just being slow coming out of the playground in particular. And teachers have said that it kind of uses up the first 10, even 15 minutes of a lesson, and you know, by the time you've got them all settled and then you do your starter, then half the lesson's gone. And you know that I've had a little bit of a thing about the bells. By chance I was out there and it was almost as if the bells were ringing in the background, but it didn't make most youngsters move.
The first time Trevor mentioned this to me, I had two ideas in mind. One was just before I'd come here, whenever it was, a fortnight or so ago. I'd just been working in a primary school where they'd abolished the bells at the end of break. And they'd done quite a lot of work training the children. But the effect was fantastic. It was marvellous. I saw it happening at the end of last summer. It's Christchurch Primary School down in...
John suggests that a similar strategy might work here and sets up a working party to hammer out a plan.
One of the suggestions that we made, and I think Trevor suggested it, we just need more clocks up around the place. And if you use your eye to try and find the time in this place, it's quite difficult in the corridors and in the playground.
I wonder if we could have something visual for apart from a clock for the end of the first lunch, whether it's
like fireworks.
Like fireworks would get their attention. They might work against the calmness that we're going for. I was thinking more of a little sign that actually, you know, that goes from green to red when it's that end of break thing.
So I could imagine we could tell some prefects exactly what it is we intend to do and how we want them to behave. We could do some assemblies where we're talking to children about timekeeping, and signs like "Be on time" could start appearing around the school. But we don't have to stand up and say today is the bell-less day.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
Yeah. We're going to have fire drill, aren't we, next week? Fire practice. And
the
when we have
Friday
that,
of term.
we don't ring bells, you know, and at the end of it they've all lined up and then staff get them in and there's no ringing of bells and no hysteria.
Staff who are new, who are not confident, use the bell to hide behind, because if they ring the bell, there's the signal and they don't have to engage in a conversation which they're worried about some comeback.
Personally, I'd quite like to do a brief training session with them and talk about how we do shush people and what should we say, how should we behave.
I mean, obviously, our ultimate aim is to have every child to be self-disciplined. That, you know, the signal is there with children moving towards the door, and therefore they go towards the door because it's that time.
Can we leave it that Angela and I go away and turn this into a plan and issue a stream of instructions to everybody we can think of, and then we'll make it happen?
Brilliant. Okay.
Year 8 mobilised on poster production and a clock on every corridor, John starts to marshal his no-bell team. For the plan to work, he needs the prefects on board.
First of all, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for coming along. Now, what we want to do tomorrow is try out a bell-less end of breaks, and the morning break and the lunchtime break. At the end of school today, at 3:25, there's a meeting in the main school hall. The head and a few other of the teachers are coming along, and as a group we'll spend 25 minutes just talking about how we're going to do it. But I need you on my team. In fact, you're much more important to me than any of the teaching staff involved, because the message won't get across unless you send it. So will I see you all there? OK, fantastic. Thank you all very much.
No bell day, -1, and teachers, support staff and prefects gather to hear the plan of attack.
OK, thanks very much for all coming down. We'll make a start. Let's have the students say again. Tell us, how do we try and get people in at break time at the moment? What happens at the end of break? Yep. The bells. Those flipping bells. Ring, 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 ring. And the first time you hear the bell ring, what happens? Nothing. Exactly, nothing. Fantastic answer. I said to, I think, a Year 9 assembly the other day, I think it's like an alarm clock in the morning. Now, you know I'm odd. I wouldn't be a head teacher otherwise. When my alarm clock goes off in the morning, I can promise you, this is the honest truth, I get straight up. But a lot of us, when the alarm clock goes off in the morning, we go, bing, snooze, comes back on in 5 minutes, bing, snooze. I think the bells are sometimes treated like snooze. Here goes the bell. Bang the teacher ringing the bell on the head for snooze. There goes the bell, snooze. And it depends on who you are as to how long it'll be before you go in. This has got to change. John is going to talk to us because he's been studying it and has some ideas as to how it might work. Over to you, John.
Good afternoon, everybody. What will happen tomorrow is this. When it's time to go in, all the adults and all the prefects and all the people helping in the playground will move into the playground and say, it's time to go in. It's time to go in. There are 4 things to bear in mind. The first is greet them, say hello. Nice to see you, nice day. It's time to go in. Greet them, tell them what to do. If people say, but there isn't a bell, you say, there aren't any bells today, it's time to go in. And then when people are moving in, we pick out the people who are doing the right thing, we thank them very much. You're going in, thank you very much, thank you very much. This is marvellous, wonderful. Thank you for going in. Now, that's our plan. It's absolutely simple. I do want to say, I don't want people getting tense about whether it's going to work or not. What we're going to do is we're going to try it. If it doesn't work, we'll have to meet and think of another plan. The important thing is to have tried it. So don't sort of get into rows all over the playground. We're going to try this as a method of working. I think that's it. Would you like to review the 4 steps, sir, before we...
I suppose all that John is saying by that is in any other walk in life, you know, if you go into a shop and somebody asks you, excuse me, sir, hello there, could you just take this? Thank you very much. That's a normal conversation. But sometimes, perhaps in families and in schools, we get in a bit of a hurry and say, come on, get over there. And it's not really the normal thing that you do socially. Normally you say, hello, how are you? It's time to go in. Usher a bit of body language to show where you want to go, and thanks very much for doing it. But thank you very much for coming along and supporting us with this. Students are seeing Miss Gartland and Miss Catt at 8:45. Have a good evening, and we'll see you tomorrow and see if it works. Thanks very much.
You know, as a matter of fact, she knows as a matter of fact it's not going to work. So.
Come on, mate, Yasmin. You know, if you go into a kit and say, get in, Yeah, if I go to them, obviously if I go to them, can you get in? They'll listen, yeah. But I'm not saying they will not listen to all prefects. Because kids, they're not stupid, you know, they're smart. They'll be like, oh, that person's a boff, and I'll walk around. No, I'm not going in, and start a fight. You know what they're like, innit?
Zeki, you're going to go into the basketball playground.
The following morning, and Deputy Heads Emma Catt and Angela Gartland assign prefects to the 3 playgrounds.
Where would you like to go? You good with that playground? Will you be good with Zeki? Buddying up with Zeki? Yeah. Has anyone got any questions? You're going to get all sorts of, you know, whys and ifs and buts, and it's not personal. And so, you know, when Zeki goes and takes that basketball in a nice, non-confrontational way, we may get a mouthful from one of the younger students, but it's not personal. Miss Gartland and I deal with things every single day, and we just have to laugh it off, you know, because we know that sometimes people are a bit grumpy, and we don't take it personally.
It's the moment of truth. Unaware of the new plans, the students go out for first break.
You missed. I was going to do a good back heel, and you deflected it onto me. I know what you're up to. It's supposed to be in there by 11:20. What time should we start sending?
It's 11:15 now. By the time I get to that wire gate over there, I think we should all start.
Okay. Is it now? Okay. All right, lads. Go in there. I'm going to try and get everybody
in, please. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Can you go inside, please? Thank you very much. Hello.
Okay, lads. Time's going. Thanks very much. Well done.
It is, there's no more bells on them. That's how it's going to be.
Hey, wait, this on the back.
There's no more.
By God, it's working.
Hurry up. You come out. Come on, man.
I tell you what was really interesting is how thrilled the prefects were.
Yeah, that they had a part to play.
Yeah, and they
were saying it's worked.
Yeah, they were amazed, yeah.
And then they said, oh, we've got to go in too. But look, it's 11:21 and it's just people going to classes who are having to cross the courtyard, which is fantastic. That is an absolute first, isn't it? It's 11:22 and it's completely clear.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
That's very good.
6 weeks on, the bells are still silent. The last straggler is inside within 2 minutes of classes starting. Teaching time has been regained. The Nobel Prize has been won by Islington Green.